Hey guys, how's it going? This is BillyEatWorld, and today we're taking a look at the MP7, which is a PDW available to the Engineer class. Now, to be honest, I'm not a big fan of the PDWs, and the main reason I wanted to give this one a go was because I played with it quite a bit in Battlefield 3, and I was keen to see if it was still useful in Battlefield 4. I actually didn't take a look at the stats of this gun before using it, and considering I really don't use the PDWs at all, it took me quite a while to get used to it. I was able to do pretty well with it in this round, but in general I was avoiding targets I knew I couldn't kill, and there were targets I was just not quite able to take down because of the limitations of this weapon. Like all the PDWs in Battlefield 4, the MP7 is not too bad in close quarters, but it's seriously limited at mid to long range. It deals 20 damage out to 8 meters, which drops off to its minimum damage of 11.3 at 60 meters. What this translates into is a minimum of a 5 to 6 bullet kill at close range and a maximum of a 9 or 10 bullet kill at long range. Now, it's pretty safe to say that a 10 bullet kill is going to be almost impossible, so you can consider this gun pretty useless for anything other than close range. The MP7 fires at 950 RPM, so at close range it holds its own much better, but even so this gun is still not out-damaging guns like the FAMAS, the AEK or the MTAR, which all do much better at mid-range as well. So the question is, what does this gun do better than carbines and assault rifles? Well, it has a 41 round capacity, which is another 10 rounds more than the average AR or carbine. This does help chain together double kills pretty well, and considering how fast the gun chews through ammo, you definitely need it. This is balanced to some degree by a fairly slow reload, with a tactical reload of 2.5 seconds and an empty reload of 2.9 seconds. Another nice characteristic of the MP7 is that it's also much more accurate to fire from the hip than any of the carbines or assault rifles. It's not quite as accurate as the P90 or any of the other bullpup PDWs, but with a laser sight, this thing is very easy to use without aiming down sights at all. Now, apart from its damage, the MP7 has a few other limitations compared to the carbines or the ARs. It has a very slow muzzle velocity of 430 meters per second and a pretty bad base ADS spread of 0.4. Also, its recoil stats aren't too high, but considering it fires so fast, tap firing can be a real issue. All of this makes the gun much less useful at long range, but considering it's already limited by its damage model, it's not like this matters too much anyway. So how does the MP7 perform in game? Well, as far as PDWs go, this is one of the better ones, but I'd be lying if I said that I really enjoyed playing with this gun. I usually like to play the mid-range game, and getting right in people's faces isn't something I enjoy doing. The MP7 isn't a bad weapon at close range, but the problem is that at point blank range, the stats of your weapon don't matter anywhere near as much as your reaction time. Now, I'm not a bad player, but I'm also not a robot, so there's bound to be times when people are going to get the jump on me, and in those situations, the fact that I'm using a good close quarters weapon doesn't really matter at all. Also, lately I've noticed no matter what game mode or map I'm playing on, there always seems to be that one noob running around with a semi-auto shotgun. Noob cannons just make me want to avoid using the PDWs at all, because I might be halfway through a decent streak and all these guys need to do is point in my general direction and I'm dead. It's not just the shotguns that beat out the MP7 in close quarters either. Like I said before, there's at least a half a dozen other automatic weapons that dish out just as much damage as the MP7 at close range and are much more useful at other ranges too. Also, the fact these weapons are engineer-only weapons is a pain as well, because they're probably most useful in TDM and domination game modes, where vehicles aren't an issue. So what's the point in using the MP7 or any of the other PDWs at all? Well, short of unlocking every weapon in the game, I just don't see a reason to use these guns. If you limit yourself to close range, you're only increasing your chance of getting killed, and you're not helping your team at other ranges. So what attachments would I recommend for this gun? Well, to me this is a no-brainer because firstly, the MP7 comes stock with a folding grip that can't be removed. The problem with the folding grip on this gun is that it helps with tap firing, which isn't something that you're going to be doing with the MP7 anyway. So in a sense, it's a pretty pointless attachment for this gun. As for an optic, a one-time sight is all this gun really needs. I was running with an RDS in this video, but you might prefer something different. For a barrel attachment, I'd recommend the suppressor because in my opinion, if a gun already has a low muzzle velocity, it's already going to be a pain to lead targets with, and it's not going to be hugely affected by the suppressor. It also keeps you off the minimap, which is also pretty key to staying alive in close quarters areas. The laser sight is also a good attachment for this gun because it'll tighten up that hip fire spread even more. But just remember to turn it off when you don't need it, because the MP7 really doesn't have the range to take out any guys at mid-range who might happen to spot your laser. But anyway, to finish up this review, all I can say is, unless you're a big fan of CQB, then give this gun a miss. I think DICE have really made the PDWs irrelevant by making the carbines all kit weapons. Honestly, I preferred it how it was in Battlefield 3 when it was the other way around. If you're really looking for that close quarters power and laser beam hipfire accuracy, then the MTAR is pretty much going to give that to you as well, but it'll also give you a bit more punch at mid-range. But who knows, maybe you're a beast in close quarters with this gun, or you've worked out a way to make it work at long range, and if so, feel free to let me know in the comments what you think of the MP7. But anyway guys, that just about wraps it up, and as always, if you like what you see, please remember to like, comment and subscribe. And if you haven't already, please check out all my other Battlefield 4 videos. I've got them all linked in a playlist in the description below. And if you have any other suggestions for weapons or loadouts that you'd like to see in the future on this channel, then let me know in the comments of this video or send me a tweet on Twitter at BillyEatWorld. But until next time, see you later and have a good one.